Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting match in the 413 CS series. I believe it's week 6 right now. We're basically halfway done. And I mean, there's a lot more Overwatch left to play. I'm SSBO name here with Hawkshaw. How you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling good, ready to see this matchup. We're looking at WVU Mountaineers versus UAH Charge of Blue. What are your thoughts going into this?
Honestly, I'm feeling a little bad for Charger Blue. They've been looking better. I mean, like to be fair, Emerald, RKOV, MJ Reyes. I mean, that's a household name at this point.
Yeah,
They've been doing well, but I don't know how much they can hold up versus WVU.
yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one to see. The Mountaineers, they've been consistently just playing as like one of the top teams throughout the entire tournament so far. In Charge of Blue, they've been a little bit up and down. Been winning some games, been losing a few as well. So we're gonna see how they fare against the Mountaineers, who again have just been so strong recently, and just throughout the entire tournament in general. And they're gonna have high standards going into this, seeing as they were the top team uh, in season 2, and still maintaining that status into this tournament as well.
Yeah, I mean, you always love to see people sticking around. You get to see them keep playing, see how they improve, how they develop, how they even change. And talking about changing, talking about all these different things, we can go into our fixtures where we see we've had two matches so far this week, and they're both been 3-0s. And from what
Yeah,
I have seen of these two teams, Mountaineers and Charger Blue, I personally think it's going to be another 3-0.
yeah, that's definitely the potential that the Mountaineers can bring, and I won't be surprised to see it for sure. They just have a lot of talent throughout their entire roster. Great tank duo and DPS who could just put on absolute highlight real level plays, as well as supports who can just frag out as well. You love to see it.
Yeah, loving to see it is the least of it. I'd love to see anyone in this match play, but WVU is especially interesting, just because I mean, it's a college team, so they already have that innate like bond between them, and then
Yeah.
suddenly they've been playing for however many months. I don't even know at this point, and I mean, like at that point, you figure something out. You know how each other play, and they're able to just snap together into a very unified uh, team structure, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So after our fixtures, what's coming up next? If I may check with our production, it seems like it's standings up next after fixtures, so we can see actually how each of our teams have been doing throughout OCS 413 CS so far. Where where we see WVU third from the top, kind of hungry though. 3-1, hoping to go 4-1, hoping to just show that their map differential is like it's better than it should be. It's better than where 3-1 should be. 7 map differential at that point. That's basically just like that's insane. That's showing that
Yeah.
basically you've been stomping the teams that you've been beating and you barely lost the team that you lost against. So if they come in and they are able to 3-0 Charger Blue, they're 4-1 with the same map differential as 4-3 Havoc.
And and again, this is the match for them to prove themselves that they deserve to be up in that top 2 spot. So,
Yeah. So, I mean, I think we've already gotten out of the way, but in terms of predictions, in terms of what myself and Hawk here think will actually happen, I think I've made it very clear that I think WV is going to win in kind of a stomp.
yeah, same here, same here. It's I feel like at this point it's just like almost inevitable with how much of a show the Mountaineers have been able to put on. And it's going to be a struggle for Charger Blue, I think, this match.
Yeah, I mean, struggle is to say the least. They've been doing all right so far. They've really shown up They had some star players really shining out who've been able to kind of single-handedly carry certain maps and
Yeah.
bring them back from the brink and win it. Where there's also been those times where they just fall apart and they just aren't able to stay up. They can't hold the line and they lose those maps. They lose those matches even. And that's what's putting them kind of middle of the pack.
Yeah, and it's sort of like where you're just sort of going for these individual pop off sort of plays, and if you just end up not being as coordinated as you want to be, you just end up getting stomped.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've talked about it, but let's look at the power rankings. See where we actually stand. And I mean, it's actually changed a lot since
Oh,
the last match.
for sure, for sure. We still have Havoc and the Mountaineers still up in that S tier. Nightshade maintaining that A tier with their win this week, and a lot of teams in the B tier as well. Charger Blue and New Haven staying in that B tier, and yeah, this definitely sort of seems to fit how these last few weeks have been going.
I mean, yeah, the Nightshade versus Catalyst match was one to be feared. The 3-0 just knocking Catalyst all the way down, but then you see UAH Charger Blue right behind them in B tier. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, middle of the pack. There's a noticeable difference between them and WVU in those standings. And of course, these power rankings were brought to you by Rogue Energy, so let's check them out real quick.
So yeah, that's your Rogue Energy power rankings. You can use the code FULL13esports to get 10% off of your purchase. And now we're going into the pre-match interviews, starting with the Mountaineers. We are bringing in KO9 for this interview.
See if we can get them in here.
There he is.
Hello.
There's
Hello,
a
how's it
man,
going, dude?
KO9.
What's going on, guys?
Not much, not much.
Uh, I
Ready for a
believe
good
you
game.
had an interesting interview the last time we brought you in versus
Yeah,
Nightshade.
we're keeping it a lot calmer this time.
Okay, just
We're
making sure.
yeah, we're good now. We're good. We're good. So yeah, we're here to win. That's all that matters.
Yep.
That's all. Not even having fun. You don't. That's
No, no fun today. No fun
not on the
today.
agenda. Oh well.
No,
I mean,
no fun.
personally, I will. When you say no fun, does that mean that you have a specific comp in mind or specific certain comps versus Charger Blue that you'd think just beat them?
No. I think it's just we know our game and we don't really care what their game is, and we just know our game is better than whatever they're gonna bring to the table today.
Yeah, I like it.
Not even a fun game from you is gonna.
Nope.
Oh
It's
well.
gonna.
Okay.
We're in and out. 9 to 5, clocking in, clocking out. That's all we're here for.
I respect it. I respect it. So, yeah, you can be playing your own game. That's what you like to hear. Coming from a team that confidence, you can just play your own game, not worry about what the other team has in store. Um, so yeah, any other questions, Bo, for KO9?
No, I think I'm dry. But we're gonna have to
Well,
kick
thank
you
you.
out now. Yeah,
It's
we're gonna
all
have to
good.
boot you from there. You were much nicer. A
Yeah, I
little
was
less
told to be.
spicy
I was
though.
I was told to be nice.
I mean, you love a respectful
I
teammate and a
know.
respectful
I know.
opponent, but yeah, we're kicking you out now.
I'm
Doesn't
sorry.
matter how
I
nice
was
you
told.
are.
I know. I just had to be nice now.
All right. Well, you have fun in the match. I
No
hope.
fun, but thanks.
Sure, sure. Goodbye.
So that was KO9 for his interview, and now for the side of Charger Blue, we're going to bring in, I believe it's Emerald 37X. We'll see if we can get him in here.
Hello.
Welcome.
Whoa.
Hello.
There he is. Emerald 37X, the DPS player, mostly hit scan, it feels like.
Yep.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. Uh, I'm tired, but I think we can do it.
Just
Nice.
just think you can do it, or you you know
Well,
exactly how you're gonna do it.
I don't know exactly how we're gonna do it, but we've been studying some of the Dallas Fuel comp, right? And we're looking at running the Goblin comp. I think
Oh,
we've been practicing it,
Oh
and
man.
I think we understand it.
yeah, I've heard a lot of whispers of the Goblin comp, a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
hyped up fans for the Goblin comp.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully you can enlighten us. Maybe not now, but definitely in the post-match MVP interview, what the Goblin comp is.
Ah, yes, yes.
Uh, Hawk, do you have anything else to ask?
Uh, was there anything else you did apart from studying that sort of comp to sort of to prepare for the Mountaineers, seeing as they are a pretty strong team?
No, not really. We just practiced that one comp.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Just the one is that's what we're gonna see. We're gonna know it when we see it.
Yep.
Okay, I mean,
I'm ready for
I'm
it. I'm
excited
ready
for
for
it
it.
now. You got me
Yeah.
on the edge of my seat.
Okay, okay, that's good.
hmm
All right,
So
well, Hawk, go on.
so yeah. And is there anything you want to say to your opponent, the Mountaineers, uh before we send you back and before you get ready?
Uh, no, not really. I guess we'll just play.
The
Letting your
gameplay do the
button
talking.
presses show it. All
Uh-huh.
right, we got him
So
laughing. We'll take it.
Yeah.
yep. Thank you for the interview. We're gonna send you back now. Good luck. Have fun.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, that's our two interviews. I mean, honestly, I feel bad because KO9 kind of got silenced by his team, kind of got
Yeah.
dampened. He a little less spicy than last time, but I'm more excited about what Charger Blue's about to come up with. That Goblin comp from Dallas Fuel, we've seen it in matches, but kind of excited about what it is in game.
The anticipation is building. It's building, Bo. See if Charger Blue will be able to utilize that Goblin comp to its full potential.
Yeah, but before we actually get to see any of that, we have to take an ad break. We'll be back very shortly with match one, King of the Hill of WVU Mountaineers versus UAH Charger Blue. See you soon.
Yep.
Okay. We're ready now. We're here with map 1 of the series, 4-on-3 Esports Championship Series of WVU Mountaineers versus UAH Charger Blue. Map 1 is Oasis, not Busan, tragically, even though I'd like to have seen Busan. I don't know if I've seen WVU. No, I have seen them on Oasis. What am I thinking? I'm just imagining Oasis as a completely different map. My bad. And I think everyone's kind of just been leaning towards Rush on Oasis. Like the different maps have different, like you can play Monkey, you could play Ball on some of them,
Yeah.
but like there's just that little bit of a niche Rush comp that people are just rocking with.
Yeah, we'll be able to see what these two teams roll out on. We know the Mountaineers like to roll out on some sort of unorthodox compositions. We've seen some of that monkey ball dive comp from them, which is sort of just like a run and then kill them or die sort of composition, and they've shown that they can also play a really good traditional brawl as well. So going on to Gardens with a lot of this high ground, I'm interested to see what they roll out on.
Well, I've seen them a lot on this Rhine. They've been swapping it up. They've had Diva and they've had Zarya. And yeah, on Gardens they like to run the Zarya for WVU and the Diva for UH Charger Blue. And that's the only difference between the comps. The Diva allows them to fly over Maywall, touch the point, and fly back onto high ground. Just that little bit of vertical movement. It's very convenient, especially with this high ground that's like it's basically how you win the map.
Yeah, and with this Zarya, the Mountaineers are gonna have to sort of look to play really fast here in comparison to Charger Blue, where you can sort of just play a little bit slower, a bit more compact. Now we're gonna be able to see who will get this ball first. Now both teams are on high ground.
Yeah, already Bjornhook forced to use those wall just to get MJ Reyes up there because Raymunk was so much faster, and they're just being forced. They're being held at their own choke, and RKOV is just trying to frag out. Gets KO9 but trades in response, and they're able to take out Brave Monk's shield and him and Vertile, clearing the high ground, just giving them all this free space to work with and just clean up the rest of WVU.
Yeah, I would think with the Mountaineers being ahead, beating them to that high ground, that they would maybe sort of have an advantage, and that ice wall as well from Bjornhook didn't even look to be placed all that well, but Charger Blue still managed to make it work, and now they have an amplification matrix to work with, which can just be devastating, especially when you're using it on this high ground.
Yeah, already WVU forced to use theirs, and it gets walled off, but UH is just able to hold this high ground, but still gets sniped out for almost 37x. And now they have to drop down a player, down their Diva mech. The shatter gets blocked by wall, but it's maybe too much as they're being pushed into the corner. They have no more lamp, and they just don't have enough resources to really push out.
Yeah, and MJ Reyes going down as well. Bjornhook can miss the Blizzard despite being down. Brave Monk does get caught in it, and he ends up going down as well. So this is still winnable for UAH Charger Blue, and they're managing to pull this back. KO9 very low on HP, he has to get out, and that's the rest of the Mountaineers following him.
That Blizzard was absolutely crucial. It forced WVU to take a step back, and for Brave Monk, who wasn't able to, he gets frozen and taken out. And when there's no longer a Reinhardt with his 85 damage swings up in your face, just absolutely cleaving through your squishies, it makes the fight a lot easier. And now RKOV trying to build up his beat as quickly as possible for KO9's grab, unless Ice Moth is able to eat it.
Yeah, and they'll be able to use that grab freeze combo provided they get the opening they need. Ultimates coming out from both teams, and Ice Manta is the first pick. He caught out of that mech after using the Diva Bomb. All he got was that Immortality Field, and now the Shatter comes down. Wilson ends up going down. Brave Monk soon to follow if he's not careful. Vertile as well going down to Emerald 37X, but it's last fight for the Mountaineers. They need to commit to these. They're committing those to portals. KO9 finding picks as MJ Reyes gets pinned into the wall, and this is looking like the Mountaineers are gonna finally get a foothold here.
Yeah, Mountaineers kind of flubbed that grab freeze combo you were talking about. They threw the freeze, and all of UAH was able to run away from it, and KO9's grab caught absolutely nothing. What the youngins call a zoning grab, maybe. And it's just very difficult to come back from that, but because RKO used his beat before Genofran, they were able to come back in with the HP advantage and clean up. So now they're able to hold high ground and force WVU and force UAH to push through.
Yeah, Versatile walking the legs, he goes down to that Deadeye from Emerald 37X, and Bjornhub about to build up this Blizzard, but the Immortality Field from Tata has to be used. The grab from KO9. Still picks going both ways as the Shatter comes down. Brave Monk gets that bubble to sustain himself through that Blizzard, and he stays alive as Ice Manta is caught out of his mech, and that's going to be a fight win for Charger Blue. Or Mountaineers, sorry.
Yeah, these team names are kind of difficult to keep up with, the WVU versus UAH, but I assure you their playstyles are not the same. Right now, UAH is just trying to build up their ult, and they have the ult advantage. WVU had that stockpile as they lost all those fights, but now they have the point, they've used them to defend, and UAH just have to push through and use theirs, like, smart, like, just in a smart way, and they should be able to take these fights.
Yeah, Wilson looking to get a pick with his pulse bomb. He's not going to get anything, though. And now, Charger Blue pushing up to that high ground. They're being a little bit slow. The wall from Bjornhope not really going to do all that much. Wasn't placed all that well. But it's a big shatter from MJ Reyes. But the Mountaineers are still finding these picks through it. That was Kata being grouped off the map. Just nullified all the healing for the side of Charger Blue. And now, Mountaineers have flipped the script. They're up to 90% on this point. And support ults are coming up for both sides here.
Yeah, I mean, talking about flipping the script, that boop just completely destroyed it because MJ Reyes won the shield war, got a big shatter, but it doesn't matter when you just die if you try to attack them. The Amp Matrix plus a beat and a bomb for the side of UOH might be able to keep them in this fight, but they're forced to stay on the point permanently. The bomb might be able to sustain them long enough, force them back, gets KO9 through the Immortality Field, and Remix on 7-11, just absolutely nullifying all the long sustain that that WVU has been with. But they have the beat and a visor going off. They have 3 members basically full HP right now versus the 5 of UAH, and they're still fighting.
Yeah, and KO9 needs to get back to this point to build that grab, but it's not looking good. The Mountaineers only have 2 people left on this point. Now 1 as Genofran goes down. Brave Monk on the Wrecking Ball, coming back to this point, getting that slam, forcing that Immortality Field out, which could be big for the Mountaineers. And now 7-11 using his, but that's the Blizzard and the Pulse Bomb coming out from Bjornhub. KO9 frozen solid, unable to do anything, rendered useless, and it's just Wilson, I think, left on this point, and or rather Genofran as well, but still not looking good for the Mountaineers as they just keep staggering themselves, trying to get enough buddies on this point, but it's not going to be enough as Charger Blue finally manages to retake and take Gardens.
Yeah, I mean, that was a very exciting final fight. It looked lost for Charger Blue when they were dying almost at the end of the round, but they just had enough time to creep back into the fight. They had a touch, RKOV had the beat, and Cat still had their amplification matrix that, I mean, that's just a very useful way to just push through and get through a choke point and get bodies on the point, which is all that UH needed to win it.
Yeah, and now this is the sort of dive composition that I was pointing out before this match started. The Monkey Wrecking Ball tank duo from the side of the Mountaineers, as well as the Genji Tracer. So sort of an old style with this DPS duo. Now the Mercy Lucio. That's where you sort of just have to either go in or die because that monkey is not gonna get that much healing. But Genofran fragging out, getting the final blow onto both supports.
Yeah, I don't think that UH was ready for that engage by KO9 and the rest of his team because they were just walking the jump pad. They weren't thinking very much about how much they could be dead because WVU, I don't know what it was, but their speed boost seemed like it did a lot more. They got to the jump pad before any of UAH had even seen it. It was just such a fast start and just a fast rollout that they had that positional advantage.
And now looking at the side of Charger Blue, they're going for this sort of rush sort of style with the Monkey and the Moira and the Lucio. That Sombra Tracer able to sort of farm those ultimates quickly. That's Emerald 82% to his ultimate already, and that's KO9 going down early.
Yeah, KO9 dropping that res. I mean, it's a bit late. Took us away when you're resing. You can't heal your teammates, which in the middle of a fight, it's pretty rough to be trying to pull off. And yeah, the sustain of the Moira, it's just more healing. I think that KO9 and Brave Monk had a poor engage. They just missed. Where if they had caught any of the squishies like RKOV from UAH, it was an easy fight win. And that's what their comp is trying to do, but they whiffed it. And they kind of just got punished by Ice Manta and the rest of his team.
Kind of goes down to that pulse bomb. That's not good for Charge of Blue. The EMP trying to stop the Mountaineers in their tracks, and now picks are going both ways at this point. Vertal is going to be committing that Dragon Blade. MJ Reyes jumps away from him. He can't do anything at that point. And the beat as well from RKO is going to be used.
Vertal getting juggled. Has no heals, but he's able to reach the Mega Pack just barely. And 7-Eleven comes back with her Valk. And now it's a full-on fight, full-on scuffle on the point, where monkeys are in each other's backlines, getting hacked, getting taken out for Brave Monk. And it's looking like UAH is able to just take hold of this point. Genobrand uses beat, but it only catches himself 7-Eleven and his own Tracer, which is not enough to really win a fight.
Yeah, and Wilson's pulse bomb also got eaten, so we couldn't really find a pick that he potentially wanted to get. And now look, Bjornhood is almost at another EMP. That was like one fight, and Cat are almost at another Coalescence. Or they do have that Coalescence to go into this next fight.
Yeah,
and all
that
you have on
EMP
the
is
side of the
special.
Mountaineers is the minefield.
Yeah, I mean, EMP, it's always rough to look at. And KO9 gets hacked in the middle of the backline of UAH. But KO9's mines are just absolutely insane. He spreads them out, allows them to reach everyone from UAH, and just clean them up. So they have to push back into them. It's just a very nice pincer maneuver with his ult.
Yeah, great play from the Mountaineers and a big minefield from KO9 to Sealess Point once again. But now Bjornhub has that EMP, so I assume that they're going to be going around to get that EMP off.
Yeah, EMP plus bomb. It's a very tried and true combo. Wilson gets picked off very early, maybe a bit too deep. Thought his tanks would be with him. And now all that UAH is really just going to do is push up. Bomb catches nothing, but forces the team back, allows Brave Monk to just get absolutely caught out from UAH. And now they're up 3. 7-Eleven's in their backline, hacked, just taken out. Couldn't even use Valk, and it's final fight for both these teams, but UAH is coming up strong.
Yeah, and once they finalize these picks, they'll be able to start building up that percent. Not a bad start from the Mountaineers, up to, what was it, 96% on that point. But now, yeah, final fight territory, and the DPS ults are still online for Charge of Blue. And the pulse from Emerald, he only gets himself with it.
KO9 though gets hacked. He's half HP from the pulse, so I mean reasonable trade. Gets an EMP, 3-man EMP, catches 7-Eleven with it, but already got the Valk off.
Yeah, now that's the Primal Rage being committed from both Winstons here, just going ham on their opposing sides. Vertal being brought to 1 HP, being hacked, but the Mountaineers still finding picks. That's Vertal finding both tanks, and Wilson cleaning up the rest.
Yeah, I have to kind of give that fight to the Emerald 37X's pulse bomb.
Yeah.
If I mean, it's hard to dodge a moving ball with your pulse bomb on it. I get it, but that was pretty rough. Dying that early, couldn't follow up on the EMP, and I mean, Tracer does a lot of burst damage. Suddenly, you can't just completely burn down a target. You have to kind of rely on your tanks a bit more on your Sombra, who doesn't deal that much. It's difficult.
Yeah, and that was like the main source of damage for that composition. It's going down, and it just rendered Charge of Blue like pretty much useless, just trying to scramble to get some sort of scrambling to get some picks. But unfortunately for them, it just didn't work out. And now we're seeing the brawl comps once again on this university.
Yeah, but this time a Sigma and Wilson's on the Sombra, so he's gonna be looking to get some hack onto MJ Reyes potentially. just allow his team to capitalize and engage off of it. But when you have Emerald 37X hunting you down on the McCree, it's a bit scary to try to do anything.
Yeah, right as he tried to go in, he just got cut out immediately and was forced to translocate out. But Charge of Blue's still not really doing much. Now they're able to push back out onto this point. Mountaineers drop from their high ground in response, and MJ Reyes is hacked, but they have that Sigma shield, and Wilson ends up going down to Emerald 37.
Yeah, that he didn't forget about Wilson existing. He kept tabs on him, and even though MJ Reyes got hacked, very strong wall by Bjornhub cuts off the team here, and earlier he cut off the team so MJ Reyes could wait out that hack cooldown and just engage with his shield and the rest of his cooldowns.
Yeah, that was very well played from the side of Charge of Blue, just doing everything you can to deny that Sombra. Emerald doing a great job of doing just that, and now they have control of this point.
Yeah, and when you talk about doing everything to control the Sombra, he's 75 to EMP. It's very difficult to keep the Sombra in check. And now Brave Monk pushes out very far, gets caught out, but MJ Reyes just gets shot down through the hole in the wall.
Yeah, and now the rest of Charge of Blue being forced to back up, but Emerald gets 2 with that Deadeye. He does go down. Vertal finding 2 picks of his own in response, and it looks like Charge of Blue wants to slowly but surely commit to this, but Bjornhub is also down, and now it looks like for sure that the tanks of Charge of Blue want to just back up, not get staggered out, not feed ult charge. They have these ultimates online, and this could be a big fight for them.
Yeah, big fights. EMPs always lead to big fights, and same with Mage Freezes and Sigma Fluxes. They're all just incredible fight-winning ults that can hit 6-pen. Gets 2 up with his just the tanks, but it's not very much, especially when a 4-man EMP comes out from Wilson, forces them into the corner, and Vertile taking out Katana is enough to potentially just win them the fight. They don't have the heals that they want for UAH, but despite that, Emerald 37X just keeps putting in the work, and UAH just catches out the rest of the team on the other side of the map of 7-11. So WVU didn't have the heals that they might have thought they did.
Yeah, a very scrappy fight, eventually going the way of Charge of Blue. That EMP not being able to get as much value as the Mountaineers would have wanted, and now both supportals are online for these two teams. KO9 maybe gonna get that self-destruct in the mid fight, and it looks like the Mountaineers are gonna go back up to this high ground. Wilson hacking that mini pack up there to provide a little bit of extra healing for his team.
Yeah, last time they went that high ground route, it worked out. They push onto the point. Maywall doesn't really catch them out very well. The beat does though. They're all the way pushed up, and when suddenly your opponent gains 700 HP, it's very difficult to push past. Brave Monk falls for it. KO9's in the backline, and Genofrand is caught out as well.
Yeah, that's the self-destruct, not going to get anything. Vertal also using this Deadeye. He's walled up. He's not going to be able to. He's not going to. He has no LOS on Charge of Blue. Now the Shatter's coming down from MJ Reyes. The follow from Emerald killing off Genofrand. But KO9 being able to kill off Emerald, and this is still winnable for the Mountaineers, despite their Prophetic Flux killing off Vertal. Ice Manta hacked out, being forced to play back, and the Mountaineers still holding strong on this point. 60% and counting here.
Notably, UAH got to 88% with their stall there, and now they're pushing back with a full 6, who all get EMP'd and then shattered. So that's an easy fight to lose. I think, yeah, UAH should just run in, die, or try to get out like Emerald's 37X's, but they just need to get out of there quickly so they can re-attack with their Mayfreeze, with their Deadeye, versus just the Amplification Matrix for WVU.
Yeah, and that was good on Charge of Blue, just being able to just going in and losing that fight early, so you get this last fight as a full 6. Because if you let it go on for any longer, you're just gonna get staggered out. It's gonna be a scuffed recontest, and now that Blizzard is gonna be committed from Bjornhub, not really gonna get that much. It does get Wilson though, and Ice Manta is there with the follow-up. MJ Reyes in the room on the left. This is the Shatter. He can't kill off the Brave Monk though, but it doesn't matter because the rest of Charge of Blue still getting these picks. Genofrand has to commit the beat, but he only getting himself and the Brave Monk, who eventually does go down. And that is Charge of Blue retaking this point. One last chance for the Mountaineers to get onto this point.
I mean, the Diva Bomb might be enough to stall them out, but Chaotic needs to charge it. And he's going to be the first one on point, so he's going to probably just lose it before he can actually charge Bomb. But luckily, Wilson's able to touch, but a Flux from, a 4-man Flux catches both supports, forces the Immortality Field, and P from RKOV allows them to stay up, tank the bomb, lose both their barriers though, and Emerald 37X dies on point.
Yeah, the Mountaineers getting a lot of space here, just forcing. It's a big shatter from the Bravemon, killing off MJ Reyes. Ice Manta brought to 1 HP. KO9 does go down, and the Blizzard is being committed.
Kartile caught up by the Blizzard. Lives through that, somehow took a rock and all the shots of the world. And Ice Manta's stuck on point, has to stall it out, but can't.
They can't touch. That's the Mountaineers taking it.
It looks
What an
like
intense
Emerald.
fight.
It looks like Emerald kind of got caught out at the end. Almost
Yeah.
on point, but maybe not. And that was very impressive by WV. They turned it around. Each of those points was 99 to 99, or at the very least, final fight territory.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be close, and perhaps we were maybe underestimating Charge of Blue, or maybe it's just a warm up for the Mountaineers, seeing as they did end up dropping one of those maps. But only time can tell, and we'll see what this next map pick is gonna be after this intermission.
Yeah, we'll see you very shortly. Be back after this quick ad break. Okay, we're back after an incredibly close map one. Could have gone either way, but WVU took it out, takes the first map. Charger Blue's taking us to Blizzard World. But before we even get into that, I want to mention how in the chat I've been seeing some Prime subs, and I'm loving it. But if we hit 10 subs during this stream, we are giving away a Rogue Energy Starter Kit. It doesn't need to be Prime subs. It doesn't need to be gifted. It can be anything. All of them totaled up to 10. We're giving it away. Everyone's entered. And I mean, how could you not love Rogue Energy? They got so many flavors. The starter kit has everything you need. It's
For
perfect.
real. Yeah, and I need to get me one of those. And yeah, for if you use the code 413 Esports as well, to get Rogue Energy, you can get 10% off one of their orders, or off of your purchase, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, free money basically if you're buying from a Rogue Energy. And yeah, pretty sick. And now we have a very unfortunate disconnect from
Yeah.
Emerald 37X. And a
Right.
lot of chat from the two teams.
Yeah. But in the meantime, let's take some time to talk about this map. What we'll be seeing from these two teams. So, what do you think we'll be seeing from like the side of Mountaineers? They'll be on defense first, so there's a variety of different things you can run. What do you think we'll be seeing?
Well, as the famous character from Overwatch, Lucio says, let's break it down. So WVU here, last time we saw them, they had some when Havoc versus WVU, I think was the last time I saw them on Blizzard World. They had some interesting monkey comps, as well as I believe some Widow, which it's a lot more chaotic and a lot more difficult to really play against, especially if you're on a brawl comp. You need to go through these rotations, and suddenly you're fearing for your life every time you walk into the open, because at any moment your Baptiste could just have his head taken off by the Widow. So suddenly you go from these very winnable fights to a lost fight in half a second from these headshots. So if they run out with that, I'd be kind of excited. But on the other side of UAH, honestly, I expect just a brawl. That's all we've really seen from them so far.
Yeah.
We saw the Monkey Diva. It didn't work out. So, I mean, it comes down to how much they really feel that it'll work. But on Blizzard World, it's already a kind of awkward comp to be running. And if they're comfortable with the brawl, it's just gonna work out. It's already been seen to be working better, and Blizzard World's already a confusing enough map to be thinking about what you're diving and where you're going on Monkey and Diva, that I think that if they just run the brawl, they'll be better off.
Initiating match.
Yeah, and I remember from when Charger Blue played Catalyst, they did run the Monkey Zarya on their attack, and it ended up almost working for them. So I won't be surprised to end up seeing to see that from them. But you know, like you've said, they've really just been favoring this brawl comp so much, and again, I won't be surprised to be seeing that either.
Ready.
Oh, okay. This is a cool comp. Symmetra Doomfist. I think the Symmetra is just to get them out of spawn, so I don't expect
Yeah.
that to stay. I think it's gonna go to a Kree because it's Emerald 37X. But Bjorn Hub on the Doomfist, that's a threat that can just win them the fight on its own.
Yeah, and on the side of Mountaineers, they have the Ash with the Mercy Pocket. So if Bjornhub stays on this Doomfist and wants to get any sort of value, then he'll just need to end up sort of finding his way, maybe on a flank, or either just going straight and hard rushing with this team to end up getting them off of that high ground. Vortile again on the Genji as well. It's gonna be interesting to see how this fares against their brawl.
And as we were hyping up the Doomfist, it's taken away. But the
Man.
Symmetra stays. So we guessed wrong. The Symmetra allows them to TP to the opposite high ground behind the point and really just throws all of WV through a loop. They're trying to set up so that they can take that high ground and try to defend it. But Bravemonk's in an interesting spot. goes up the steps, tries to reach the teleporter, but he's late. And now he's kind of LOSing his team. He's 7-11's on the stairs, very close to the rest of UAH. Dangerous positions for each of WVU as they try to reposition and stabilize.
Yeah, now Bravemont just holding this point a little bit away from the rest of his team, but he does end up getting that Fire Strike onto Emerald. So that's your Sim down, and that's a lot of your damage down. That Microwave no longer available. Vertile though ends up going down, so it's a 5v5 on this point, and the window being committed on the side of Charger Blue, and they end up getting Genofriend with the window Fire Strike combo.
Yeah, Genofriend gets sniped down by the Reinhardt Fire Strike, just a one-shot. K9 gets back in mech, which is enough for him to get onto Katana, take him out, and now WVU looks pretty strong. With the Pharah, they're able to poke down. They still have people ready to fight, and a window up that, I mean, UH isn't in aren't in very good positions, but they're forced to use the Blizzard with nobody on point. And KO9's kind of in stall mode just to let his team get back and install as well. They're not, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to win this point, especially with 7-11 getting contested and killed.
Yeah, he was on that high ground, on that different angle for quite a bit, and eventually Charger Blue does manage to get him down. But the bomb from KO9 is huge. It gets 2 as well as Ice Manta's Diva Mech. So that's a huge opening for the Mountaineers now. MJ Reyes taking him straight off the map.
That's a good way to reset. I mean, he has his ult, the Shatter. Bravemont never charged Shatter that fight. He died quickly, and he didn't really get to, he was holding shield more than he was swinging on shield, which is a rough place to be. But Wilson did so much damage, charged Bob, stalled point with Bob, and kind of was able to just hold all of UAH back. And now UAH takes an interesting route through the open area of Blizzard World, allowing Vertile to just rain down fire.
Yeah, and that Immortality field from 7-11. Gonna be able to keep Bravemont up, who gets a big shatter onto MJ Reyes, but unfortunately, there's not gonna be much follow-up. And the pulse bomb, Vertile goes down as he uses that barrage. He's not gonna be able to get anything out of that. And again, it's stall mode for the Mountaineers. Wilson going down, and now MJ Reyes just swinging, and that's gonna be the point going to Charger Blue.
I'd like to see that stick because, I mean, there's obviously some nutty tracer clips of them sticking afar in midair, but he stuck Vertile, and Vertile went to use barrage, and it got canceled instantly. I don't even know if rockets came out of him. It was so fast. So that's an unfortunate place to be. Yeah, KO9 tried to get to point. I mean, he forced them to kill him, but he's gonna have a rough time coming back. Now UH just gets high ground.
Yeah, Mountaineers will have to wait a little bit for KO9 to get back. He is finally back, but Charger Blue does have that high ground. Mountaineers will be going all the way around to the backside. Just sort of poking a little bit, but I don't think they suspect Emerald. Wilson does end up catching him out, forcing him to recall out, and now Charger Blue ends up dropping down to the payload.
Bob goes flying into the backline. They just choose to just absolutely melt Bob. They don't lose very much off of that. They just stuck a few steps back. But Wilson's still on the high ground, raining fire from above. And when you're down your DPS and your BAP, I don't think UAH gets to win this. MJ Reyes uses his charge just to retreat back to spawn.
Yeah, Wilson's been doing a lot, as you pointed out, just staying on these high grounds and just getting so much damage off. And now we're seeing some more switches coming from the side of Charger Blue. That'll help. Wilson does get res. So it looks like Emerald going to the Widowmaker and Bjorn Hub on the Hanzo. So that's a lot more range and a lot more shield break for the side of Charger Blue. But MJ Reyes is going down, or is going low. They have to use the Immortality field to keep him alive.
Yeah, Emerald 37 trying to take an off angle. MJ Reyes shatters what looked like mid-air, and Bravemont almost catches RKO, but luckily gets saved by Ice Manta's bomb, who catches 2, including Wilson. Kind of been taking all the range damage for WVU, and that's going to allow them to finally get past that corner. It's a rough spot to beat. It's difficult to stay on the cart and pushing high ground at the same time, but now that they're past there, they can just actually take high ground, and now WVU is forced to play low ground and to contest cart.
Yeah, Bjornhub already has this Dragon Strike, and it looks like Brave Monk and KO9 are gonna want to go to the payload as that Bob from Wilson killing off the Bab, and that's good if you're on the side of the Mountaineers. But Geno Fran does end up going down as well, with Shatter coming down from Brave Monk.
Gets blocked completely by MJ Reyes. I mean, Ice Manta was doing a lot, trying to just contest all the squishies, taking out Genofran and everything. But you can't stay alive forever, especially not on D.Va. Now he's just gonna run to the edge, get sniped out by Genofran, and they're gonna reset. Final fight now with only 15 seconds left on the clock. They have to move quickly. They don't really have any ults at all. They might be able to charge Sights and potentially Shatter, which, I mean, unless if MJ Reyes is able to really commit with it, it's not gonna win.
No, okay, just no one touches, I guess.
Interesting rotation, you could call it, where they went through the building. Brave Monk puts question marks in chat. You might call that a bit of BM, but luckily here we don't. I mean, we're not gonna penalize you for question mark. It's the rank special.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, that was we'll just call it unfortunate for Charge Up Blue. We'll just call it unfortunate. They did take that rotation. Maybe they sort of lost track of time. Not really sure what happened there. But they couldn't get that touch onto the point. Was gonna be a rough fight for them anyway, considering they didn't really have that many ults to. They didn't really have any ults to work with. You were maybe gonna get Shatter in the mid fight, but other than that, not really anything. So they're gonna have to put up one hell of a defense to hold the Mountaineers.
Yeah, and this is the comp I was thinking about with Mountaineers. This is what they attack with. It kind of just takes over the different high grounds of Blizzard World that are kind of really difficult to contest. Like, there's spots on Blizzard World where if the attackers take that high ground, your main defensive defender is kind of just hunkering down and just not looking at that high ground. Especially if you're a squishy. And with Wilson on the Widow, he really showed up on the Ashe, just did a lot of damage, got Bob, and I mean, when you're on Widow, you're able to headshot, you're able to one-shot, and anything that you catch with that is enough to win you fights.
Yeah, look at this comp from the Mountaineers. They have the Monkey D.Va with the Bap Lucio. You don't typically see Bap with this sort of composition, and it's pretty weird. But just because it's weird doesn't mean it won't work. I think it definitely could work. The Mountaineers just need to play it to their full potential, and they just immediately jump up. But KO9 is DMAC before that Immortality Field can be deployed, but it doesn't matter as Bertown and Wilson end up getting picks. But that's not going to be enough, unfortunately, for the Mountaineers, as Wilson is just going to have to sort of just drop off that high ground.
Well,
wait, what?
Okay, Wilson, calm down. That RKO of pick is enough for WVU to just re-push. I mean, they already got picks onto Katana and Emerald 37X, which, I mean, as long as they just go fast, they're up players, and UAH is forced to just back up and maybe just get caught out and lose.
Yeah, and it's almost like the Mountaineers are the defenders on here. They do get a tick on the point as picks going both ways for these between these two teams right now, but Wilson ends up getting caught out by Ice Manta. Immortality Field has to be used from 7-11 to keep himself alive against Bjornhub, but he gets sniped out jumping above it. Now both Baps are down. And MJ Reyes in the back. I don't think they expect him, or now KO9 finally sees him. He does have this Earth Shatter ready, but they need to wait for that bubble to go down. Brave Monk committing that Primal Rage. The Gravitic Flux only gonna catch KO9 on the Pilot D.Va, and he's still not gonna die. Now he goes down, as does the rest of the Mountaineers.
Yeah, Mountaineers. I mean, when you're on just tanks and when you have no more DPS, it's very difficult to clean up a brawl. Because if you try to get close to Monkey, if you try to get close to Ryan as Monkey, he can just beat you with his giant hammer. And I mean, he just has the heals and the speed from Genofran that allow him to live and run away. So it works out where he doesn't have to actually worry about dying.
And again, another player for the Mountaineers is going down early in these fights. I feel like that's been happening a decent bit on their attacks. And now the bomb from KO9 is gonna not find anything, and he ends up going down as he tries to remech. Not
Yeah,
what you
Emerald-
want if you're the Mountaineers.
Yeah, Emerald is very good at taking out 150 HP targets with his big McCree revolver. I mean, like that was an incredible hold. They didn't use any ults. That's an insane rock shot. But yeah, they didn't use any ults. They have basically 5 built up, and Bravemonk's forced to swap over to Rhine, and they're just moving into a more brawl-centric comp. But they still have the Genji Tracer, which is awkward
Yeah.
because, like, I mean, versus May McCree, they just have a worse brawl.
Yeah, but perhaps the Reinhardt might give them a little bit more to work with in terms of sort of just taking that brawl versus brawl. Pulse bomb from Wilson though isn't gonna find anything. Gino Fran does commit that blizzard, finding three of his teammates.
Yeah, Bertile with the blade in the backline doesn't catch Emerald 37X. Flash is just enough to get him, and now he's dueling with Wilson. Gets him as well. Emerald 37X has been cleaning up the DPS for WVU basically every fight, and now it's only 21 seconds on clock, and WVU still has no ults. They might be able, I mean, they will be able to charge Amplification Matrix if they make it to the point, but they, like, it's just going to be a rough spot where they need to charge on the point as quickly as possible.
So nice pick though from Bertal, killing off Emerald. That's a lot of damage done for Charge of Blue. But MJ Reyes still has the Shatter. Bravelock has to be tracking that. They do have point presence as well, forcing Charge of Blue off slowly but surely. The Shatter only finding 7-11. He does manage to stay alive. The Gravitic Flux gonna find 2, and picks are going the way of Mountaineers. They picked off MJ Reyes and Kato on that map.
Yeah, maybe Emerald 37X getting a bit greedy with that high noon. But, I mean, it's a 2v3, now a 1v3. Bjornhoven is on 1 HP, can't really contest it. And maybe UAH committed a bit too much into a losing fight. Losing Emerald 37X that early, they don't have the same presence that they used to have. Suddenly the DPS for WVU have actually picked up the slack, and I mean they're putting it in, putting in the work.
Yeah, Verta already has that Dragon Strike online, Drone Hub, with that Blizzard. You might want to, well, you could end up using it early here, but you just want to make sure KM9 doesn't eat it.
Yeah, KM9 eating anything, but Emerald 37 wins the duel with the flash. Very interesting. Now they're just gonna, now WVU's just gonna be forced to back off the point and try to escape, but Bravemonk has no more shield. KO9 basically has no more DM, and they're getting pushed into spawn. Versatile dies again, basically. It's a rough spot. They're being held at this choke. Somber now by Wilson. Maybe just for the EMP, just for a big ult to win it and get the payload pushed to where they need it.
Yeah, and I feel like with the Sombra, you could maybe just end up going on a flank and just finding someone out. But the Mountaineers, with the help of that self-destruct and the Dragon Strike, they end up finding picks. And now this is looking good for the Mountaineers. That Immortality Field, no, going to waste. And yeah, it's just all Mountaineers right now. K9 does get to
K9 gets dragged back to the UAH spawn, and luckily MJ Reyes was able to live there. If he had died, it would have been almost impossible to push back onto this point, and maybe WV would have just had enough people to push it in. But now it's coming down to final fight yet again. RKOV has the beat, MJ Reyes has the shatter, and I mean, I don't know. This is a difficult point to push into, as we saw for UAH.
Yeah, and MJ Reyes is going to have that shatter online, but on the side of Mountaineers, you have those supportals ready. Kato, though, might end up getting that window in the mid-fight. 7-11 committing his, just to sort of zone away UAH Charge of Blue. Kato might get caught out, though. Has to use that Immortality Field to stay alive, and now the Mountaineers have presence on the point. The shatter from MJ Reyes only going to catch Xenofriend, who stays alive and ends up using that beat. And now the Mountaineers can push super aggressively onto MJ Reyes. That wall not going to split them off too much as Vertal ends up finding the pick onto Emerald. And now supportals are up and running for Charge of Blue. But the EMP hits 4.
Yeah, that EMP, as soon as the beat runs out, I mean, it catches beat anyway, but it's enough to just drive you mad. And RKO goes down to mech. I mean, UAH has spawns and their DPS are in with their BAP, which it's enough to stay on the point and live, but it's not really enough to recontest and actually win the fight.
Yeah. At that point, it was just sort of they were just sort of trickling in. Couldn't really get a full 6 to fight with, and Mountaineers just took full advantage of that and were able to take it.
Yeah,
Play
I mean,
of the game.
when you hold defensively very well and lose that last fight on first point, it's kind of brutal to your mental.
Very
Uh,
unfortunate.
you think about everything that you could have done to have won, like how you could have changed your ult. Oh, that was the pulse. It didn't even get Vertile. It got the shield of Brave Monk, who ended up just, oh my. Vertile was
Oh,
flying too low to the ground and got caught mid ult. That's, I
uh,
mean, I didn't think Pulse had that big of a range, but apparently.
yeah, that's well, it doesn't matter too much. Mountaineers ended up winning that. So now the Mountaineers are up 2-0 in this series against Charger Blue. Hope we'll see if Charger Blue will be able to respond. Uh, we'll see what their map pick is, and we'll see if they'll be able to kick off a reverse sweep here.
Okay, we're back after another exciting map. I mean, every map is exciting when you're here in 413 Esports. But I mean, winning 2 maps, not in dominant fashion though. And I mean, yeah. What are you thinking, Hawkshaw?
Yeah, these maps are definitely a lot closer than I thought. Had me fearing for my channel points a little bit, not gonna lie. Um, but this 4-1-3 CS thing. What is 4-1-3? What is 4-1-3 esports? Um,
So 413. I'm glad that you asked. Of course. I think a lot of people are wondering. It's an esports organization for Overwatch, where basically people come in through our academy program and they get to try out to join these teams like 413 Havoc,
Welcome to
probably the
reality.
best team that anyone would want to be on. You got 413 Riot, you got Nightshade,
Initiating
Catalyst if you're really, like stooping down low, whatever. But then we even have teams that aren't in this tournament, such as 413 Horizon and 413 Hellfire, which are thinking about going into things such as Open Division and larger tournaments. But just in general, it's a server where you can meet new people, you can join a team. Uh, it's more fun than ranked. I can attest
oh,
to
for
that.
sure, for sure.
Yeah, it's like six stacking with friends for a whole
ready
night.
for
It's nice.
battle.
Yeah, very much so. We have you can join the Discord via our website 413esports.com. You can join the server there and just follow the directions and you're pretty much set to go. You wait for one of those open tryout events and from there you join the academy team and yeah.
I mean, these players, they're not. I mean, Academy is nice, but these are players that they're on their own teams right now, and they're coming out on interesting comps.
Yeah.
Charger Blue looks like they're going for a double bubble, but they don't have a Zarya. They have the Brig instead, trying to defend against a monkey from Brave Monk. Uh, I mean, honestly, these are some mixed comps from both teams.
Yeah, but Lucy on the side of Mountaineers, maybe looking to frag out, maybe get a boop or two on this bridge, and sort of just speed your team in and kill them. Really.
Yeah, Brave Monk trying to just hold the high ground, zap down a little bit. Already forced to back up. They're holding the high ground, but they're not doing very much with it. They're just kind of standing on it. And Emerald's getting very greedy, but lives through it. Takes some pot shots, and finally Brave Monk's contesting court after it gets through the corner. And I mean, Charger Blue's just able to walk onto high ground and try to fight it. And Emerald wins the duel, and there's no res on the side of WVU, so suddenly they're up a player.
So Bjorn Hub gets hacked and he ends up getting laser down, and Juno Friend with that kill onto Emerald. And yeah, that's gonna be Charger Blue just needing to just back up.
Yeah, I mean, going up a Widow is nice and all, but then when you're suddenly down your own Widow and your Genji, it's a lost fight for the most part. Wilson's been farming, though, in these past fights. It's looked like not much has been happening, but Wilson's been poking. He's 92 to ult. He's the closest to anyone in the server. Yeah, server right now. EMP is probably just gonna win the fight, especially if Charger Blue continues to play so compact.
Yeah, and that's Emerald going down again. And that's a 4-man EMP catching the remaining members of UAH Charger Blue. Vertile going down, but I don't know if it's gonna matter. Wilson though does go down as well. KO9 needs to be careful to not get demeched, and that's MJ Reyes going down. So it's a very back and forth fight we're seeing here. KO9 and Brave Monk just waiting to get healed up by 7-Eleven, who does have this nano boost. You can apply it to Brave Monk if you want to maybe go in or just continue to stall out or sustain a little bit longer.
Yeah, turning your monkey blue with nano is usually the way to go. He just jumps in, zaps everything, and he gets to kill whatever he looks at. And I mean, Brave Monk and KO9 just continue to hold this high ground. Force
Oh, the
Ice
bomb.
Monster out of mech and use bomb. And now, I mean, Nanoblade's a bit better than the blue monkey. Not gonna lie.
Just a bit.
Yeah, he's getting a lot more value, killing just all of the backline for WVU. And even though Brave Monk's catching these picks. KO9 and Brave Monk are basically 1 HP. All they have is Gino Fran for heals, and that's not enough.
Yeah, and that's 2 more ults committed from UAH Charge of Blue. That not sure about the rally being used there. Seeing as kind of just walking around the cart, not really able to do anything there. But KO9 does end up falling off the map a little bit later than the rest of the Mountaineers going down. So that's Brave Monk and Wilson just needing to go in and stall out this point. But that's a nice sleep from 7-Eleven onto Bjornhub.
Bjornhub lives through Vertile, and Emerald 37X just completely wins that again. KO9's deep in the backline trying to kill RKOV, but fails because he gets just all the peel from his team. It's coming into the last, this is the last inches of this cart push on first point. It's always difficult, but Brave Monk's antied, can't stay on cart for very much longer. They're going to be able to push it in for UAH, Charger Blue. Jennifer has to jump off, and they get to clean up, hopefully. Unless MJ Reyes gets chunked down, but he's chilling. He's living. They get to take the high ground, take the positional advantage, and hopefully keep pushing the start.
Yeah, and you're hoping this doesn't lead to a snowball. That's the Nano Blade online again for UAH Charge of Blue. That could be a free fight win if nothing is done about it.
Yeah, I mean, Gino Fran has no beat. All they have is a 7-11 plus Brave Monk Primal, trying to just basically trade backlines. But like we saw last time, the Nano Blade was better than the Electric Monkey.
Yes!
Bjornhub gets slept, but it's rough because you just can't coordinate that. You don't know when you're gonna, when your Ana's gonna hit that sleep. So you're shooting him. He gets woken up instantly, but he still doesn't kill anyone. Vertile and Ice Moth trade with each other, but Bjornhub goes down, and so does Emerald. So suddenly, UH is losing. They're forced to back off. Sometimes some of them are just jumping off and dying.
Yeah, him getting woken up there was a little bit scary, but fortunately for the Mountaineers, Brave Monk, I think it was him committing that primal, just able to knock Bjornhub all the way back down main and rendering him pretty much useless, unable to do anything. So that's really good for the Mountaineers here, as they have both DPS ults. They'll be online soon. The Nano Blade almost up and ready.
Oh, RKO absolutely just knows his spots, goes under the bridge with the boat, allows him to live. Brave Monk goes very deep, drops to almost dead, and dies for it because of how deep he went. And now the Nano Blade for WVU is able to find members, dies though, but all that they really have is MJ Reyes all the way deep, getting away actually. And now both teams are still just stabilizing and coming back, so even though ults were invested, not very much came out of that fight.
Yeah, that fight pretty much just felt like 2 fights going on at once. You had the Nano Blade going on from the Mountaineers on one side of this point, and then on the other you had MJ Reyes using that primal and eventually being able to jump out. But that's Wilson going down early, and now it's just up to KO9 and Brave Monk to stall off this point. But the Nano Blade is there, and it might just melt through that beat, and it does, killing off 7-Eleven and Vertile.
Yeah, when 7-Eleven and Vertile get knocked all the way back, they couldn't do anything that whole fight, and they die in the end anyway. So, again, Charger Blue pushes in the cart with no time to spare, but, I mean, getting past any points on Rialto is an accomplishment. Each of these points are notorious for just being miserable to push through. The defenders have the spawn advantage by a lot every time, and it's basically walking half a mile to the cart, trying to contest. And, I mean, they're able to do it because they're winning the fights before it gets to that point.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we see the Mountaineers flipping over to the Brawl comp once again. That's a 6-man EMP. MJ Reyes getting absolutely obliterated. And the rest of Charger Blue is just going to follow suit.
They're kind of toying with Bjornhub in the back line, trying to stagger him as much as possible. And KO9 gets taken out of mech for a kind of greedy play. And 7-11 goes down. I mean, when you think of staggering, you usually don't want to stagger a DPS for that exact reason. The entire point is that you're supposed to do it safely. That's why Baby D was so easy, but now it's a little scarier because of her remake changes. If the person you're staggering can kill half your team, you probably should be staggering them.
Yeah, so it's a little bit scary. Now KO9 is able to remake. He doesn't get the remake kill onto Bjornhub. He somehow manages to dodge it, and now Emerald is committing that Deadeye. Brave Monk alone against that corner. but Emerald ends up getting hacked and he can't, or he ends up getting off the Deadeye, but it doesn't find anything. And now a full-on brawl is breaking out on this corner. And the grab gets eaten. KO9 eating the grab from Ice Manta. And now he's gonna go in with that bomb. And it kills off Ice Manta. Oh my god, unfortunate for him. But the Nano Blade from Bjornhub is gonna find both supports. Vertile going down as well. KO9 getting D-Mech'd. And it's just Brave Monk and Wilson left on this point. They will be able to get another fight here perhaps, but it's going to be a scuffed one considering you had some members of the Mountaineers going down late. And both the portals are online for the Mountaineers here. Genobrand will have to build the speed though, but he can't build the beat in time.
Yeah, this overtime spawns are just completely stopping WVU from even reaching the point. Obviously, Emerald 37X had a great flash onto Genofran, stopping him from contesting at all. But, I mean, when it comes down to that final fight, it looks like WVU has the time to respawn and take another fight. But they forgot that if it goes into overtime, I mean, like, you have the worst spawns and suddenly you're not able to recontest where you thought you could. So, UAH was just able to push it through.
Yeah, and on the plus side for the Mountaineers, they did get it. It was that they did hold it until overtime. So if they can end up surpassing that time bank, which is very doable, then I think it could. This could end up going the way of the Mountaineers once again. But we'll see what Charger Blue ends up going out with on defense, looking to be a brawl comp. Once again, Ice Manta on the Sigma, the Bap Lucio, Emerald back on that McCree, and it looks like the Mountaineers may be going for that dive composition again.
Yeah, I mean, when you see the Mercy Lucio, it's a little interesting because the monkey just doesn't get the heals that he'd like, but they made it work. Vertile on Widow, especially with the Vertile on Widow. That's right? He was on Widow before.
I believe so.
Yeah, I might just be
I
tricking
forget.
myself right now,
Bad memory.
but yeah, it's difficult to win these, especially when your monkey just has a hard time engaging. Basically, only Mercy heals most of the time. But if they can displace and maybe just isolate Bjornhub or someone else like Katana, they'll be able to win the fight very easily.
Yeah, and they go absolutely full on, and Ice Manta has to use that kinetic grasp. He does manage to get out on like half HP, and now they're forced to just hold that lower, or that back corner. The Mountaineers still holding this high ground, looking for an opportunity, looking for a target to jump onto maybe, and Bjornhub has to drop as well.
Yeah, playing that high ground, forcing all of UAH onto the low ground and play under. They can't push back to the stairs. It's difficult to come back. Katana dies first, but it doesn't. It's a short-lived victory for WVU as the rest of their team starts dropping. KO9 has to escape, barely gets out with his mech, but Katana died very quickly that fight and didn't really get that much value. Only 26 to ult, and when it comes down to, like, I mean, zoning your enemies, that amplification matrix is very, very strong. Just force all of WVU off an angle in just 1 second.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that they ended up dying early, but the DPS could potentially make up for that. That's Emerald picking off Wilson before the Mountaineers could really even do anything to really get a full engage. Brave Monk did get a little bit of damage on that high ground, but wasn't really a full engage, like I said. And now that Dragon Strike is being committed, gonna split off. It splits off 7-11 from the rest of the team, and the High Noon from behind kills off Genofran. Nice from Emerald, and Wilson going down once again, and the Mountaineers can't really find a foothold.
I mean, it's hard to really judge it when Charger Blue used plenty of ults in that fight. That High Noon, that Dragon to split them, and now KO9 barely alive. If he gets spotted, he's instantly dead. But now WVU gets to push in with their support ults, with their tank ults. Really just sustain a bit more. Brave Monk can get greedy with his push and actually get value, rather than just poking and prodding like he has been.
Yeah, Wilson flips over to the McCree. You can contest the enemy DPS as well as go for a stun right click, but you can't contest anyone if that gravitic flux from Ice Manta is gonna end up. Wait, the bomb from KO9 ends up picking off 3. Wilson killing off Ice Manta as well. 7-Eleven won't be able to get that res, but it doesn't matter as KO9 ends up killing off MJ Reyes. And what a play from KO9.
Yeah, it looked lost as soon as Brave Monk died with his primal, but he popped it late and used it on cart. That's interesting. But KO9 got a 3K bomb, got a 4th with his baby diva form, and I mean he instantly gets DMAC'd and Wilson dies through the window fire strike. So it's a valiant effort, but when you just have this brawl on the point, it's very difficult for WVU to win out.
Yeah, Vertile off the map. Unfortunate for him. Brave Monk and 7-Eleven following suit, just going down. And this is looking rough for the Mountaineers. They only have 30 seconds left, and they're going up against quite a lot of ultimates.
Okay, KO9's behind with Remake being sped by Gino, and he
no.
said no fun. Remember, mark my words. He said no fun in this match. He's
He
going
did.
for a Remake kill.
He goes-
Then Jordan up from behind. Instant pick off. They're forcing ults. It's absolute mayhem now. Gino goes down through his beat, and KO9 is just trying to take out Katana, gets him, and it's a brawl on point, but WVU has a positional advantage and is able to just keep taking out members. That entry pick on Bjorn Hub, not allowing to use dragons, and just that long range poke just taken away. It was enough for him to win the fight. But KO9, he kind of lied, to say the least. He's a liar.
Yeah, man did say no fun. Yeah, we'll need to look back at that. Was a really good strat from him though. Be sped by Gino Friend and just find that remake kill. Good opening, and he ended up finding like 3 or 4 more picks in that fight. So he really led the way for the Mountaineers. As they're just pushing the cart below these arches, Flux gonna find 2, but Emerald is gonna go down. But still even for both ways. Both main tanks are down, and Ice Manta just getting piled on by both DPS.
Yeah, it's even, but it's kind of just it's DPS and no longer the BAP, so it's just DPS. They have no heals until Jennifer comes in, but I mean, Charger Blue comes in, they have their Reinhardt, WV's forced to back out, minute 20 on clock, and they had a very good push this first point. Like, they got to the cart where they want to have it, and they're already pushed past the bridge a little bit, so they're, I mean, that's like the most dangerous part of this map is that bridge, just trying to walk across. And now they're on the high ground, allowing themselves to push through, and they haven't taken very much poke.
Yeah, and the Deadeye is gonna come out from Emerald. Not really gonna find anything. Brave Monk gets absolutely deleted. Holy! But Vertel's still gonna go in with this Dragon Blade. Wilson gonna pick off. Sheesh! That's Vertel killing 3 with 1 swing of the Dragon Blade. I didn't think it was gonna find anything up until that point. And the Mountaineers are just gonna push it in. I don't know if anyone's gonna be able to recontest.
No, they won't be able to, and Bjornhub gets picked off as he's just walking out of spawn. So UAH is forced to stand a little bit further back. That fight, yeah, the Dragon Blade looked just awful because of Lamp, but it forced Lamp and it forced all of Charger Blue to look back, and suddenly that high noon from Wilson was enough to just clean up into Vertile's Dragon Blade swing.
Brave Monk's back on the Reinhardt. He has this Earth Shatter. So does MJ Reyes. So we'll be seeing those Earth Shatter mind games between these two. But the Dragon Strike, pretty big. It's gonna kill off Brave Monk. He's not really any follow up from that Shatter. As KO9 gets DMAC as well. And this is looking like a lost fight for the Mountaineers.
Yeah. I mean, when you don't have a Reinhardt or a Diva, it's very difficult to really just fight. If MJ Reyes goes deep, but it doesn't matter. They don't have the damage to take him out, so they're able to clean up, put a minute on clock, and I mean, when you've capped all 3 points and there's just a minute left on your defense, it's a pretty good feeling. Because even if you fail to like hold it and win the map, you still kind of just set yourself up for victory.
Yeah, very much so. And all things looking somewhat even. Emerald going in with that Deadeye with the bomb from KO9. Emerald finds 2 with the Deadeye. KO9 only gonna find 1, and Brave Monk immediately just backing out. He's gonna end up dying if he's not careful. He ends up going down, and it's just a reset and try again for the Mountaineers. They do have the ultimates to work with though. They'll need to use them wisely. This last fight coming up here. 15 seconds left.
Yeah, that bomb from KO9 was a bit greedy, especially with Emerald holding the high noon. And now Brave Monk's gonna be forced. I mean, he's on cart. They're set up for it. Versatile just gets absolutely trashed and taken away. But Katana caught out again, out of position and just dead. So now they're forced to play without a BAP, which is usually just a GG lost fight. But they're on defense, so they should be able to stall it out, get their respawns faster than WVU could ever hope, and recontest. Yeah, exactly what they're doing. They're taking a step back. They have their team coming back. They're gonna push back with their amplification matrix and high noon.
Yeah, Kenon did get demeched a little bit there. He's now remeched. And Vertel going in through the back with that Dragon Blade. Still hasn't found anything. He killed off Emerald. He was using the high noon and he died. And Vertel finding another pick and the Shatter to seal the deal. Both teams capping in OT.
Yeah, people joked about Genji in 2020, and they joke about Genji in 2021. But when you're Vertile, it's a bit too easy to just dominate, right? He's going in with a dry blade versus lamp. Well, in that fight there was the lamp. But he's going in with this dry blade, and against a Kree, it's very scary. But it feels like he's waiting out the flash, and he's just going on to who he should be going on to. And I mean, 120 damage slashes is enough to usually just take him out. And every time you get those slash kills, it's enough to just win. Like 1 Dragon Blade kill is enough to win a fight. 3, every time you use Dragon Blade, that's just completely unstoppable.
Very much so. Genji pick really working out. Again, typically something you don't really see too much nowadays, but they're making it work, and you know, if it works, why change it? So if they keep rolling out on it, I think if Charger Blue doesn't end up countering it in some way, then the Mountaineers could just end up rolling through them.
Yeah, I mean, with did they have the Ashe last time? I thought they had Widow, and
Yeah.
no mercy for the Ashe's damage boost, unfortunately. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, wasn't this? Is Charger Blue running out with the WVU comp? I don't remember them having this.
Yeah,
last
yeah,
time.
yeah. This is
I feel like they took a page out of their book.
Yeah.
Let's see if it's just a greed play or if they really think they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Oh my, that pick on 7-Eleven, he was taking shots every time, and he knew 7-Eleven had to peek for his tanks. But
Oh, good start for them.
yeah, and Vertile going down as well. They just don't have enough damage. Wilson, he's getting caught out on low ground. Doesn't die because of KO. Oh, well, just as I said that. KO was trying to keep him alive, but DM doesn't really protect infinitely.
Yeah, and Emerald finding a couple picks there. That was good on him. Great opening for Shark Blue. And 5 seconds left. They do end up. The Mountaineers do end up getting the touch onto this point, and they end up finding and killing off Emerald. But Brave Monk and Dino Friend are down. KO9 finding another.
KO9 in the backline trying to just get back to his team. Oh, Wilson gets booped in and taken, just absolutely assassinated. And 7-Eleven is now just hoping that his team can stay on, contest for as long as possible. But at this point, they're basically just feeding the ult to Charger Blue. They used a Dragon Blade, but from what we've seen, these blades have been building up quickly. And when you have beat Valk, Primal, and Bomb, it's pretty easy to win the next couple fights.
Wilson getting staggered out as well. That's not good. Mountaineers gonna have to wait even more for him to come back. They might end up. Now they're just gonna stay a little bit back. KO9 though, up on the high ground before the rest of his team has to play a bit carefully.
Yeah, now we're standing on high ground, just fighting for this corner. I mean, it's a hard corner to push through, but they don't. Charger Blue doesn't have to worry about it too much. They're still pushing part. but as long as they're on cart, they have to stay on it. They step off, and just I'm talking about being on cart. That's kind of the funny letter number that people
Yes.
love to talk about.
3-4.
But I mean, it's a respectable push. At some point, they did get just completely pushed off the cart. It's hard to stay on. They were losing the fight in the end. But I mean, pushing past first with only a minute on clock is very respectable, especially because from what we saw on the first attack, WVU couldn't. If they only have a minute on clock, like they did in the first round, I mean, they don't make it. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. So they're gonna have to really pull out the stops and think of something better, or maybe just execute faster and get it past first and pretty much halfway through second.
Yeah, they did get like I think it was a little bit over halfway through second point. So I think if you're Charger Blue, you're definitely happy with that. And now you're gonna go out on this brawl comp. You have a lot of range here with the McCree and the Hanzo, which is good to be shooting down these sort of long sight lines at the spawn doors. And now it's the pressure is on for the Mountaineers. 1 minute left, and they needed to get it over first point and over halfway through second. Not going to be easy for them.
Yeah, basically, if they lose any one fight, they're gonna be scrambling onto the cart as quickly as possible, and that's just a rough spot to be.
Yeah.
RKOV kind of tries to ride it on him and fails, so now they're down their Lucio, and Charger Blue should just be stepping back. Even though they take KO9 out of their mech, it's better to just let the cart push a little bit, and just, yeah, there they go. Now they can engage with a bit of a better tempo to them with their Lucio. Down Emerald 37X though, their big damage dealer. Now it's up to Bjorn to just break shield and win the duels.
Emerald going to the Widow, maybe wanting to match Vertile here in the last seconds here of this round.
We see KO9.
RKO again.
Yeah, RKO gets caught out with a flash, but Emerald takes out Vertile in the Widow duel. It's overtime now. Bjorn has those dragons for cart. He just chucks it. But Bravebunk is forced to have lamp on him, and Wilson Haidu gets canceled by Katana. They're cleaned up by MJ Reyes. I don't think that WVU can stay on cart much longer.
Yeah, 7-11 and Vertile, the last one standing. Vertile about to go down as well. He ends up going down. No one's left to touch the point. And that is Charger Blue taking Rialto.
Yeah. I mean, it looked not impossible at any point. I mean, these past couple maps have been very close. But this one especially, Charger Blue showed that they pushed all through 3 points. And it was very dominant. But at this point, KO9 on the Diva just cleans up 4 with the bomb, completely turning the fight. And yeah, I saw that dance. He likes to dance on Diva. He knows when he's popped off, and he likes to show it off.
Absolutely. And now we're going into a map 4, Charger Blue, still having their heads above water here. And now it's the map pick for the Mountaineers, and we're gonna see what that is and what they roll out on the other side of this intermission.
Yeah, I mean, 2CP, it's always excited. I'm always excited
Oh.
for anything, but 2CP is a different kind of beast. But we'll be looking at that after this ad break very shortly. See you soon.
Yep.
All right, we're back with another map. Last map, Rialto. Just to recap, I mean, everything's been close. This one went to an overtime, and I mean, when you get into those overtime situations, and you go into extra maps, map 4, map 5, sometimes even map 6, it gets a little bit uncomfortable. Sitting in one spot for too long, it gets a bit difficult. I feel like I've heard of a place on stream that could, supply me with something to keep my butt warm and comfy throughout these matches. Hawk, do you have any idea?
It could maybe be this maybe be this other sponsor called Secret Lab, huh? Right?
Traveling to Volskaya
See, that's Secret Lab. That's a sponsor of 4-3 Esports.
Oh,
That's right. So Secret Lab has their chairs. They have they have the very sleek looking. They have the Omega symbol and everything. The Titan chairs, and then they also have for any geek, any nerd, anyone that just even like, I don't know. You don't even have to be a nerd. You can just be a normal person. Any chair with a logo that you can think of, they probably have it. Sports, college sports, Diva logo even like they have
yeah.
basically everything.
It's nuts. And you can get your Secret Lab gaming chair at 413e.com/Secret Lab. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta love what you're sitting in, and they provide some of the best chairs out there. But here is Volskaya. I like Volskaya. I used to not like Volskaya. Well, I used to like not care about what map I was playing. Then I didn't like Volskaya. Now I like Volskaya, just because you can basically do whatever you want on first point, and you just have to outbrain the other team. Second point, I mean, like, no, I don't know a single good 2CP second point. But
Nah, there's
yeah,
none.
but here, it's very clean.
Lots you can do, like limitless opportunities on this first point for both sides, really. For Charger Blue, they're going with that monkey with the Moira Lucio, this rush style once again. Lots of high ground control. They're looking to go all the way to the left, through the hallway on the high ground. Just
Yeah,
rush
they're
someone
flipping
out.
it. Yeah, they're trying to flip the map. Brave Monk goes for a kind of late dive, but Katana just gets booped off the map. Gets caught out. Katana might not have been going for it, but no matter what he was doing, he was able to get it. Boops him off, takes out the main heals. Icebot trades back with his own boop on KO9, which is just like, I mean, it's a little bit of extra credit basically, because I don't think Charger Blue's gonna be able to win this fight without their Moira.
Yeah, the Tracer going down, Emerald going down as well. So it's just a reset and try again for Charger Blue. Not really much of a fight from them. Great from WVU. Brave Monk and KO9 just went all in on that high ground and just sort of killed everything.
Yeah, I mean, as we're talking about what happened last fight, Bjornhub had his own little scuffle. He was invis behind enemy lines, tried to assassinate 7-Eleven, failed, gets caught out by Wilson and KO9 just hunting him down. And now, Charger Blue's just gonna wait. They're just gonna take their time, wait for him to come back. He's unable to sneak behind again. They're just gonna have to rotate as a team, and hopefully they can take the high ground. Katana can stay alive. Yup, get some really big ult charge onto the Coalescence. And MJ Reyes engages, trying to take out 7-Eleven, who just is getting burned down. 1 HP still, but they ignore her. Go on Fertile, who used Bob, but the Bob's not getting any value as the fight is just off point.
Yep, Pulse Bomb going in. Brave Monk uses the Primal Rage to survive it, and the Mountaineers clean up. That Pulse Bomb going to waste, but the EMPs are ready for both sides here, as well as the Nano Boost from 7-Eleven. This comp not really working for Charger Blue. Emerald goes to that Widow. I assume he's looking to take the duel against Fertile. And yeah, we'll see how it plays. It's different from just the style of the rest of the overall comp they're playing. And Wilson just going in immediate with the EMP, hitting 5 players on the side of Charger Blue, and KO9 is there with a follow-up as well.
Yeah, this has been a very difficult attack for Charger Blue. Now that WVU has their ults and they're cycling them, that EMP bomb, they use Primal, Bob, and Valk. I mean, Katana hasn't been able to charge Cole and it's been 3 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's rough when you're playing Moira, not getting that coalescence. You're supposed to just build it in like one fight, two at the most for usually. EMP now from Warnhub hitting 4. That's both tanks getting EMP'd on the side of the Mountaineers. The bomb from Ice Mountain not gonna find anything really, but MJ Reyes with the Primal Raid on the Vertile. And picks are going the way of Charge of Blue now. Gino Friend not gonna be able to get that res off. And RKO uses that beat. Does go to waste with Brave Monk getting that killing blow onto him, but I don't think it's going to be enough as the rest of Charge of Blue is just able to kill off the rest of the Mountaineers.
Yeah, I mean, unless KO9 gets this 3k bomb, or not bomb, but remech. I mean, it's basically the same thing at this point. Now Vertile's coming back. Nope, he's deciding to not go for it. It's smart. I mean, there's enough people on point for Charger Blue that it's just impossible to recontest.
Yeah, and just in the nick of time, Charger Blue takes point A. 3 minutes for second point. Always just the most fun point in the game, right?
For sure.
Contesting immediately, maybe trying to farm that EMP.
I'm out of
Vertile now on the Pharah. Not really much to contest it on the side of Charger Blue, except maybe for Emerald if he manages to get on that high ground, and Vertile maybe runs out of fuel or something. Brave Monk though going down, and the EMP from Bjornhub hitting 4 more players from the Mountaineers, and they're just gonna go down one by one.
Yeah, that EMP was just expertly timed. I mean, like, WVU was forced to keep fighting after Brave Monk died, but when your Ana gets both your supports get EMP'd, they can't protect each other. But a 6-man EMP with almost no follow-up, all they have to do is stay alive for Charger Blue, and they do. So now Katana gets her goal and just is able to push back, deal damage, deal heals at the same time. 7-Eleven's getting juggled in a corner, just can't survive MJ Reyes. Bomb is big, but not big enough. Can't catch anyone as they all had their cooldowns. And
Brave
now,
Monk does get rest though.
and now it's cleanup for WVU. It's difficult. The beat's coming in. 4 members alive for Charger Blue, enough to stay in. 7-Eleven's being pushed off point, and Wilson can't touch.
Time.
So they couldn't stay on. That was a big stall, but I mean, it didn't feel like it was that much. 1 minute 40 seconds on clock is enormous on Volskaya, but at the same time, WVU could just snowball, which is, you know, everyone's favorite part is 2CP, of course.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then you just end up getting like maybe a 6-minute time bank, you know, sort of like Havoc versus Bad at Overwatch on Hanamura, when Havoc got that 6.5-minute time bank. Maybe that could end up happening. Who knows? We'll see how the Mountaineers respond on their attack here. Maybe they're gonna go with another dive comp here. See what they end up rolling out on and how Charger Blue will respond to that.
ready for battle.
Yeah, they're on their interesting comp again, but oh no, double shield. I mean, when you see the Brig Bap, I don't know what
Oh.
other comp runs it besides double shield. It's interesting that they don't want the Zen, but I think that they're just afraid because they know WVU is so dive centric that the Zen, if RKOV just goes onto it, he might just get bursted down every fight and not like do anything.
Yeah. So I think if you're gonna run this comp for Charger Blue, I think the Brig is definitely a good choice to just sort of try and negate those dives coming in from the Mountaineers.
Yeah.
Same old from the Mountaineers. The Monkey Diva, Genji Sombra back on the Seal and Mercy for the supports.
It's a nice spot that I like from Charger Blue, this high ground, because even if WVU takes the opposite high ground, they have the full fire onto the point. MJ Reyes goes to contest very low already, has no more fortify, but gets back to his mega room, gets to survive. Tragically, the mega's hacked though, so Wilson's able to just prevent those big heals, 250 HP each time. Emerald takes out Vertile, but gets taken out by KO9, and Vertile gets res because that Mercy is just so powerful with her ability. It's all out warfare, but as long as this double shield is able to keep their BAP up, they can just stay in this room, rotate their lamp. That's a second lamp for the fight, which is just difficult to beat on a dive comp. And with no more DPS for Charger Blue, It's just a quick recontest for WVU might be enough.
KO9 and Vertile, the last ones to end up going down there. And yeah, a very long and dragged out fight, and that's where Charger Blue is gonna thrive here. They have a lot of these ultimates being built. The Supercharger almost online, and they also have this amplification matrix as well as that Deadeye. The Matrix committed in that Mega Room as Emerald with the Deadeye killing off Fertile. He didn't see it coming, but Kata ends up going down. And now the Mountaineers are trying to flip the script here with Vertile being rezzed. With the Gravitic Flux, though, coming out from Ice Manta. It's going to hit too, but he gets hacked out of it. EMP from Wilson going to hack him out of the Gravitic Flux. But Vertile with the blade not going to be able to do all that much. And it's another go again for the Mountaineers, it looks like. Brave Monk going onto the Rhine, 7-11 on the back. So they're looking to go back to the Brawl and maybe just sort of just walk into their double field.
Yeah, I mean, MJ Reyes has been staying alive for so long, and Wilson's mid-air EMP was flashy and canceled the Flux, but it just wasn't enough because of this just complete sustain. Just the AoE heals of bringing back, keeping the tanks up. It's just impossible to break through almost. Especially when you're Vertile going down.
Now it's just MJ Reyes though left on the point. He gets hacked, so he can't use anything else. And Ice Manta and Katana are just stuck in that Mega Room. They're not able to contest because KO9, I believe it was KO9, just annoying them as while MJ Reyes was just being left to die on the point. And now Mountaineers are going to be able to cap. They have 4 minutes, a minute more than what Charger Blue is entered their second point attack with. Now MJ Reyes has this supercharger, but the support ults are both almost up for the side of Mountaineers to potentially sustain against it. Maybe I was wrong, Caster's Curse. Vertile going down immediately.
Yeah, these fights have been really decided by Vertile going down. Like, it feels like he's taking way too much damage just trying to break through this double shield as they walk up. And I think for the last 3 fights, he's been the first one dead. So, like, he switches to Kree, I like it. No more Genji, just straight up Brawl for the most part. And they don't have to worry as much about this Genji trying to do weird things. Now they can just straight up try to Brawl, hit some flashes, and build up an EMP to just win them the point.
Yeah, now we're seeing the mirror comp with the exception of KO9 on the Diva and Ice Manta on the Sigma with MJ Reyes flipped to that Reinhardt. Ice Manta has this Gravitic Flux, but he doesn't want the same thing happening to him as last time. But Wilson's hacked, he can't use that EMP. Vertile ends up killing off Emerald. Not much use being made of that Deadeye, and Dinofran is going to use that B to allow his team to just aggress forward. But the EMP is going to hit 5, and that's just gonna flip the script and force them to back right up. But Ice Manta ends up getting shattered. Wilson using the EMP of his own, hitting 2 who both go down, and now the Mountaineers gaining progress on this point. It's just Bjornhub on the left of the point being able to stall it out for just a little bit. He has to teleport out, and now Ice Manta on the Wrecking Ball being able to go back in. Bjornhub going down, Kata following suit, and now it's a scrappy fight, but the picks are still just going the way of the Mountaineers. The bomb from KO9 to seal it off, as well as the Deadeye. Ice Manta going down. And that's gonna be it.
Well, not it, but that's an attack.
You know what I mean. You know.
Yeah, I of course I know what you mean. I felt like that entire second point was just not very well timed by Charger Blue. Katana or Katanana, it's very difficult. I've been saying Katana the whole night, but oh well. They kind of just died like they died really late. It was basically a full-on stagger because when you cap that first point, or as an attacker, the defenders get that 1-second respawn for however long. I don't actually know, but Katanana dies after the 1-second respawn. So suddenly, none of Charger Blue had a BAP for like at least 10 seconds as WVU pushed into the fight, and then later into the fight, as they were just going to stall, Bjornhub used EMP, hit 5, but they didn't have the follow-up. He could have just given ticks, let WVU kind of just take over point for a little bit, then use it, and potentially have more success.
Yeah, and yeah, the EMP felt a little bit rushed as well as like, you know, the pressure to get that follow up, but it wasn't gonna happen from the very start. And now Mountaineers back on this brawl. What am I saying? The dive defense here with the Ana Brig. I don't think we've seen very much Brig here, and
I mean, we saw
from
the Brig.
Mountaineers.
This is the first time we've seen it. I mean, on Volskaya, but like for WVU at least, it's been showing up. Canada doesn't get protected by the team. Takes the rotation very late, straggling behind, and gets completely picked off. I'm a little confused on what the Metro's supposed to do. Besides, I mean, like obviously teleport, but I don't know what their teleport strategy is because no matter where they choose to go, KO9 and Brave Monk have the maneuverability to just go wherever that TP lands.
And so this provides so much pressure on the brawl, and there it is. They're going right into it. That's a massive anti from 7-Eleven.
Actual 6-man anti-made by 7-Eleven as they all push onto him. So he trades his life for basically everything from George. Yeah.
And he's 70 to this nano, but they'll have to end up coming. They'll have to come back quickly, or else Charge of Blue will be able to take advantage of him still on that respawn.
I mean, yeah, him dying is still relevant because he can't set up basically no matter what he does. The only place he can go, yeah, to this back high ground where he was, but then he swapped for the other one. It's really a situation now. And Emerald's off the Symmetra. They went for it. The 7-Eleven 6-man anti was enough to sway them. So now they're just pushing into Mega Room. And has to push on the point, which is just very difficult with standing into the open area.
Yeah, now the Blade is going to be committed, getting that nano boost. Vertel going in, killing off Gata and the Immortality Field. He kills off Emerald as well. Pornhub getting sent straight off the map. MJ Reyes going down. And that's gonna be it. No progress for UAH Charge of Blue on this point. So now it's a draw or a loss here. For Charge of Blue. Bit of a mental breaker. You have to hold for, what is it, 2.5 minutes, and you won't even get the 2 minutes, I should say. Not even gonna get the win if you manage to hold it. So it's a bit rough. Now the Mountaineers are setting themselves up for success in this series here. It could end right here.
Yeah, I just have to point out, WVU had an incredible hold where they caught Catanana instantly on the rotation, completely shut down Charger Blue. They just had to step back, just burnt time off the clock. Then, with the 6-man anti-nade, 7-Eleven basically single-handedly won that fight. Like, sure, his team killed them and everything, but a 6-man anti-nade allows them to just do whatever the heck they want. And I mean, when they push into the final fight, because they just completely held the first two, WVU had more ults. They had more ult charge, and they had the better spot where Charger Blue had to step on the point from open area, and that's just difficult.
Yeah, and you're seeing something a little bit different from Charger Blue. They're running the Rhino Orisa. So the double main tank as well as the Ana Bap. So the Ana Bap isn't too unusual on the side of Charger Blue, but I haven't really seen the Rhino Orisa from them all that much. So we'll see how they end up playing it here. Mountaineers back on the brawl comp with the McCree Sombra. And they're gonna look to just go right in.
Yeah, they're able to push in. The Diva Matrix is enough to protect them. Raymonk maybe pushing a bit too hard, but MJ Reyes is caught out half HP outside of the point, outside on the point. But I mean, Ana Bap is just incredible heals. It's difficult to break through. It's a bunker comp that has already burnt off half W's time bank because they spent so much time scouting.
Yeah, already a minute left, and KO9 off on his own a little bit as Brave Monk gonna get slept, has to walk back through the choke point. And Mountaineers a little bit split here. We see KO9 off on the left. Now he's gonna push in with the Brave Monk and the supports. And Brave Monk is anti though.
And stepped out of his immortality field. Fertile down as well from behind you from Emerald, just showing dominance over him. MJ Reyes is just able to stand in his immortality field. He doesn't get shattered. It looked like he should have, but he dodges it, is able to pin away and stop Brave Monk from swinging on his team.
Yeah, it was such a huge shatter from Brave Monk, but Mountaineers weren't able to follow up on it. 30 seconds left now, and it's felt like, oh man. Now 7-11 is down. That's more time they'll have to waste to maybe wait for him. Now MJ Reyes has the shatter of his own, and RKO can just use this nano onto him to allow Charge of Blue to just go in hyper aggressively. But they have to be wary of this EMP from Wilson. He will be able to get the touch onto this point, and that's going to allow the Mountaineers to hold. And that's a big EMP hitting 3 on the side of Charge of Blue. Vertel finding 2 with the Deadeye. The shatter from MJ Reyes. KO9 is going to eat that Blizzard. This could go either way right now.
Oh, MJ Reyes is just bunkering down a point. Even though they lost both their supports, I mean, 2 supports versus 2 tanks and 2 DPS, it's a difficult fight to win. Maybe even impossible fight to win. But
Yeah.
they held out. They got the draw, which is what they were hoping for. But that means that if they're gonna stay in this, if they're gonna win this even, they gotta put it to map 6. And I mean, we talked about that chair thing. I don't know if anyone here has a Secret Labs chair, which it might just be a bit too much trouble on their push. They might not be able to withstand it.
Yeah, map 5 coming up from this draw. Wait, whose map pick was it? I think it's the Mountaineers, right? Since they lost the previous map.
Yeah, Mountaineers picked Volskaya, so now they get to pick again because it was a draw. So, I mean, Mountaineers has been historically not great on King of the Hill, and they already picked Oasis, so they have to go to their second best. Which, I mean, when you win your first best, it's nice and all, but they barely won it.
Yeah. So it's definitely gonna be a close one. Not sure what the Mountaineers are gonna pick. It's gonna be an interesting one, but we'll see what that is after this short intermission.
Okay, we're back. Map 5 out of potentially a 6 map. It's, I mean, it's insane. That was just a draw on Volskaya. I'm not surprised that Charge Blue was able to hold, but I am impressed that they were able to hold. Let's put it like that. Because I mean, WVU, they haven't been dominant, but they've been winning out the like 50-50 kind of maps. They had a better time bank, and they looked better on first point than Charger Blue, but Charger Blue was able to hold it with that Ryan Arissa.
Yeah, and like you said, it's just very close. A lot closer than I had anticipated. I thought this would have been maybe not an absolute like steamroll, but like a little more towards the Mountaineers side. But Charger Blue they've just been proving us wrong really. Putting up a great fight against the Mountaineers, and Mountaineers with their map pick, they're going to Ilias, so we're gonna be seeing more of these. I feel like we're gonna be seeing more of these really these unorthodox strats that they've been going with, stuff that like not really every team out there usually runs, and it has been working for them. So yeah, why change it at that point?
Yeah, I mean, the unorthodox comps, I mean, it's not unorthodox, they're just a bit interesting. They've had the Genjian, which that hasn't been showing up very frequently, very often. But both teams have been having a Genjian. The Hanzo in. Hanzo's not like the best right now, but he does so much damage that how could you not love him? Um, like it just keep like the list goes on with the number of comps that these teams have run. Charger Blue played the Mountaineers weird comp with the I don't even know the Mercy, Lucio, Widow, etc.
Yeah,
Like
on Rialto, and they managed to end up winning that map.
yeah, that was impressive. They took I like I don't know. I don't know what these teams do, but obviously they prepared. At least I know Charger Blue prepared. I don't know how much Mountaineers prepared because we talked to KO9 and he's probably the cockiest member on the team, so he wouldn't admit to it. But I believe that these teams are like they're incredibly well matched for each other. Each of these maps has been at the very least close. Blizzard World is the only one that looked like if you were to look at the score, it wasn't that close just because it was 1-1 and neither team capped second point. But that hold from Charger Blue almost to holding them back and protecting first point would have been enough, but they lost it on the last fight, which is impressive by WVU.
Yeah, for sure. Looking like some technical issues on the side of the Mountaineers. So we're gonna be delaying the map for a little bit. So
Yeah. I mean, what else do we have to talk about? We have our wonderful, like we mentioned, 10 subs, be it gifted, prime, whatever. If we get that by the end of the stream, which we may have a while left to go, maybe 2 more maps, but maybe this is the last map. If we get those 10 subs, we will be giving away a Rogue Energy starter kit to one lucky viewer in the chat. And I mean, how could you not love it? It has a bunch of flavors. It has a mixer.
Now
It
arriving
gives you
at
everything that you
Ilios.
need to succeed. Get that caffeine, get that energy, the Rogue energy, and play out of your mind
Initiating
like these
match.
teams are right now.
absolutely, I need to get one of those at some point. uh, Now going back into this match, we are on Ilios Lighthouse. So again, one of those maps where you can just run all sorts of different things: the brawl, dive compositions, maybe double bubble. We haven't seen too much double bubble from these teams, so I doubt that either of them are going to be really running that.
Ready
Uh,
for battle.
Looks to be this monkey ball composition again from the Mountaineers, which they did run back on Oasis, and I don't recall. Did they win that round or?
That was on City Center, and they did, but barely, like with everything else.
Yeah, so it has worked for them in the past, and they just barely managed to edge out over Charger Blue with it this time around. So two different compositions going head to head against each other. We're seeing the the Rhino once again on the side of Charge of Blue with the Sim May, which we saw back on Blizzard World. And it took them a minute, I believe, to get that attack going, but they did manage to get it. And now that's a pretty cool TP. I haven't really seen that one before, but KO9 is going to end up going down, and that's just a lot of point presence for Charge of Blue. And this is takes one by one.
Yeah, that point presence, when you talk about it, I mean, playing, we've seen WVU play with this comp before, the monkey with the ball, against a rush comp on Ilios Lighthouse, and I was criticizing the other team on the rush for not just going to point.
Oh no.
And this Sim TP up on top of Lighthouse is just genius. And again, they have another smart Sim TP that allows their squishies to potentially escape if they get pressured too much. It gets broken down, but oh well. Bjornhub just has to get back to point. He's gonna make it, and now holding this point with a Sim, it's not easy, but it's difficult to push into, to say the least.
Yeah, the Junkrat and the Echo on the side of the Mountaineers now with the Brawl tanks and supports. So they're looking for a lot of spam damage from the DPS. It'll be on them to be breaking those shields and getting all that damage in. That's a good start. Brave Monk getting that Fire Strike kill onto the Bab. Immortality Field does go down though, and the Stem Wall is up as well. So Charge of Blue is still holding this point, and they're using that Sound Barrier as well. Wilson off the map with Brave Monk going down. It's still going the way of Charge of Blue.
I mean, it's when you have the Symmetra on point, like Brave Monk is he's just like staring at it's a staring contest. He's looking at MJ Reyes, he's trying to swing on him, and he just can't. Because what are you gonna do? You're gonna push up into Simturret, into the rest of his team, and die every time. And it's just difficult. He needs Versatile to get a big tire here, just so they can actually get the value that they're trying to get.
Look at where he is right now. He's just been up there with Dinofriend the whole time.
Yeah, tire comes in, only gets Immortality healed. That's absolutely enormous. Charger Blue has no Immortality heal or Symmetra, which is enough, especially when, oh my. Okay, WVU just canceled Blizzard with a E and just completely destroyed the Supercharger. So they were able to push through, broke the Immortality field, just burnt down Emerald, and that just allowed them to walk through the doors and win the fight.
Very well played by the Mountaineers. They get this point just in the nick of time. And they also have this copy online from Wilson. I assume maybe he's going to go for the copy onto MJ Reyes and run at Charge of Blue with the double Rhines. Something you very much love to see, right?
Yeah, I mean, Stevie on the point, they get above it. The junk is getting value, but Katanana just can't get through TP. And MJ Reyes is getting caught out without a BAP. Doesn't have the healing that he needs to sustain. Yeah, Charging Blue should just lose this fight. They're not gonna be able to take it without their BAP.
Yeah, and Mountaineers didn't even use any ultimates there, so that's really good for them. They now have the Diva Bomb ready, the Sound Barrier, Vertal almost at this Riptire. Bjornhub flipped over to the Reaper, and if he can get close, he can end up doing a lot of damage along with the Symmetra. Simwall almost ready for them, speaking of which, and both the portals online for Charger Blue as well. So if they just use them wisely, they could end up overpowering the Mountaineers here. Vertal on 1 HP, just barely manages to live. He uses that tire. He's on the low ground in the back. He ends up going down to RKO, but he finds 3 with the tire. It doesn't even matter. Brave Monk killing off Emerald as well, and what a tire from Vertile.
Yeah, each of these, I mean, each of these plays is just showing that WVU knows what they're doing against Symmetra. The only thing that was stopping them the first point, that first fight, was they couldn't fight the Sim TP because it was just such a clever spot, and they got it before WVU could get to either side of it. But now that they're able to fight it, they're splitting the team, not allowing them all to go through TP, and Charger Blue just can't win when they don't have everyone through TP on point.
Wilson copying the Lucio. He might be able to build up another Sound Barrier. Dinofriend already used his. Vertal is down though. Shatter from Brave Monk ends up hitting Bjornhub. MJ Reyes not gonna find anything, and he's stuck in the trap, and he's gonna go down. The self-destruct as well, gonna kill off Ice Manta. Looking to go the way of the Mountaineers now. as RKO and Emerald both go down. Bjornhub the last one to stay alive and contest, and no one else is there. And the Mountaineers managed to pull it back. They were down, what was it, 99-0, and they managed to pull it back.
To 0.
Yeah, all it took was one fight to just take over point. The Symmetra couldn't get the value that she wanted.
Ready.
I was a little sad to see Charger Blue take so long to swap off of it. And Bjornhub, I don't think he's very much of a McCree player, because he went to Reaper when there was an Echo and a Junk on the other side.
Yeah.
Which you kind of want to Cree for that, being able to just poke away the Echo, stop her from getting all this free value, especially with Sim TP. Being able to stickies that, it's just like, it's just 30% to ult every time.
5, 4, 3,
Back to the monkey ball on the side of Mountaineers.
round 2.
A lot more
Capture the
open map here. And now Emerald 37 on the McCree, like you were saying, they need that McCree. Really to just contest those DPS. Wilson on this Widow, so he's gonna go looking for picks while the rest of the team just goes on to Charger Blue. And now they're already
Can
split.
attack in the back line, but there's not enough follow-up for him. And Katanana took a just missed TP, so they were late to the fight, and the entire team just couldn't play without it.
Yeah, now Mountaineers cap the point pretty much immediately. And Charger Blue, they ended up getting split like at the beginning, but they are finding picks. But Bravemont killing off RKO. No supports now for the side of Charger Blue.
Brave Monk, very, very disciplined, chooses not to use his primal as he dies. He knows that his team's winning the fight anyway. And yeah, he charges primal very quickly just because, I mean, it's Brawl. He just gets to zap them. If he ever lands on them with a jump, he basically gets 50 to ult instantly.
Yeah, and Therese now has the Shatter. KO9, he gets that slam, crushes down Emerald. Immortality Field down as well. Bravemont going in with that Primal Rage, and again, still going the way of the Mountaineers as MJ Reyes down again. And this is looking like a dominant map so far.
Yeah, it feels like
for the
WVU knows
Mountaineers.
this comp better on Ilios than they did anywhere else, especially on that Rialto. They were struggling to just get through, but now that they're on defense, and I mean, there's ults now, like EMP, Rally especially for Charger Blue, but all that it takes is a little bit of value from KO9, taking up Bjornhub for EMPing mines. Genobrand lives and gets the beat off, very hidden, and Emerald dies in his own backline, just barely surviving for WVU. They have 4 alive, but they have to push into this brig. They have to take her down, or else these tanks are just not gonna die.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Genobrand was. Wait, the Mountaineers are still pulling this back. It looked to me like they were just going to lose that fight and just had to reset. But it's just MJ Reyes left and Bjornhub. MJ Reyes going down. Emerald getting that final shot onto MJ Reyes, but he can't get the Deadeye off, and the EMP from Wilson is gonna hit too. Kata going down. Bjornhub down as well from Vertile, and it's looking like the end of. Oh my.
Yeah, the entire thing.
I can't.
99-0 or 100-0, you could say, for
Yeah.
Mountaineers in Ruins. I mean, I'm slipping
Yeah.
on my words here. That was
I feel.
dominant on that final map. They knew where they wanted to engage. They knew where they wanted to just completely destroy. And I mean, Bravemont got his value on Monkey. KO9 got his value on Ball, and like playing on rotations and just trying to get to point even and brawl where they want to brawl. They couldn't for Charger Blue. They just got completely shut down and taken out.
Yeah, that brawl not really working. It just didn't work out for Charger Blue. That dive just overpowered them every single time, and that's the Mountaineers taking the series 3-1 over 5 maps. Wasn't a dominant performance by any means. Definitely tons of close maps, tons of close calls as well, but the Mountaineers, they end up taking it. And now we need to talk about who our MVP will be for the Mountaineers.
Oh yeah. So on Mountaineers, honestly, the shining star for me has been 7-Eleven. In the
Yeah.
earlier maps, we didn't point it out very much, but he was kind of just on high ground, like behind all of Charger Blue every fight, healing his team, getting back shots, uh, and just not really taking any damage. Like he just wasn't contested, so he got free value. And I mean, when you're able to do all that on BAP, and like when you're able to shoot and heal and stay alive permanently, you're gonna win maps.
Yeah. So is that it? That settled?
I mean, if you agree with me, yeah.
Yep. So 7-Eleven MVP for this match. Great showing on the support today. We're gonna get him in here for a short interview real quick.
All right, as we get him in here, slowly, calmly, carefully. I mean, we obviously talked about that six-man ante on Volskaya. I think in all the time I've played Overwatch, I don't know the number of times I've seen a six-man ante, but it's very low.
Yeah. Definitely haven't seen it that many times before. Being able to hit one and the follow up from your team, very satisfying and just overall it's just those kinds of plays that just win you games, right? And you pulled it out right there. That 6-man ante and just the overall great showing on the support again. So now we're gonna get 7-Eleven in here. 7-Eleven, the man himself. Welcome. You are MVP tonight. How are you feeling, dude?
I'm feeling great.
Nice, nice.
So,
So-
Charger Blue, were they a bit more than you expected, or did you actually like, did they come out with what you thought they would?
Honestly, some of the comps caught us off guard because we didn't really expect double shield, TP, May, Brig, and all
Yeah.
that. 'Cause that's not something you practice against.
Right.
Yeah.
But it also didn't help that we took the last week off for finals, so this whole match has just been a mess for us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that is a true point. Is there are real life responsibilities that each of these players has, and especially as a college team, finals week probably the roughest week that you could have, but you still pulled out the win, won 3-1. There was that draw, but that's kind of just just to draw it out, easily.
Right. And moving forward, you guys as a team have been putting on such a great performance so far, consistently being up there in the top of the standings and putting on great performances. Uh, Winning this match as well. Where do you think this? What's next for you guys? Like, what direction do you guys plan on going to?
Well, after this, we plan to just keep going the same way we have been. Obviously, we didn't have access tonight, and we've had Wilson subbing in for him, which changed our comps up a little bit. We want to practice more with Wilson in case Axis does have to miss again. But we think that we can win the tournament again this semester or this season.
Yeah, semester, the
Yeah,
college
it's been a
brain.
long time.
Yeah, I
Very
gotcha.
long semester.
Yeah. So yeah, so you just mentioned all these difficulties that you had, and I want to point out, can you please bully KO9 for me? He said no fun at all. He would not have fun. His team would not have fun, and then he went for a remech kill flank and got it. So just
In
hit him in the
voting?
back of the head for me, something like that,
Well, if
because
you heard our comms tonight, you would just know how many times he's been hit in the back of the head in the last 2 hours. It's been a day.
all right, well. If it's been a day for you, and I mean, you come out victorious, so it has to be a good day at the very least. So
Mhm.
I'll send you back to your team. You go on and celebrate. Have a good time.
Yeah, thanks. You
GG's.
too. Thanks for having me.
For sure. Yes, sir.
Yeah, kick him out of there.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I didn't realize that they were running on Wilson, who is not actually a mainstay in their team. Basically, not a sub, but not the main roster.
Right, and the fact that they managed to still make it work out just shows how good this team is, how and like how well they can adapt to just certain situations, and that's what wins you these games.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, when you think about games, we just had a nice 5 map, pretty close match. And let's look at the future. What's coming up next? Uh, Tomorrow, Monday, 8 p.m. EST, like all our times are. We have the Riot versus Batted Overwatch match, where I mean, Riot's been. I mean, they've been trying to climb back up. They've had some roster changes that have really been changing up how they play and who they play. That's. I mean, the more time they have, the stronger they'll be by a lot. So as soon as they get on their feet, as soon as they start taking a few maps, you're gonna see how much they've developed.
Yeah, and when they just build up all that when they just build up that synergy and that teamwork, they can definitely pull something out, and I think if they just manage to keep working on that, then they'll become a better team as the season goes on. We'll see how they end up performing tomorrow against Bad at Overwatch, and if they show more signs of life and any signs of improvement. Still looking for their first win of the season. Bad at Overwatch around like the mid tier sort of, maybe a bit higher throughout the season so far. So we'll see how that matchup goes.
Yeah, I mean, each of these matches, we're in week 6 still, and I don't even know where every team stands. There's been upsets early in the he's early in this season that have really tampered my expectations of what comes next. So teams just keep surprising every single time, and I mean, how could you not love it?
Exactly.
Oh, it looks like we had a small technical difficulty. So now that we're back in, yeah, these different matches, week 6, there's only no, 3 more weeks after this one, 7, 8, 9, and then there's playoffs where each team, only the top 8 teams, so the bottom 2, which are currently Riot and Potatoes, will the top 8 will end up fighting for the number 1 and take home some amount of prize money or some kind of coaching. So right now, as I mentioned, that Riot and Potatoes really have something to fight for because of their bottom 2 in these next weeks. They're out. They're done. They don't get to do anything else. They're just out of the tournament completely, and that's not where you want to be. If you go home before the top 8, it's just an unfortunate spot to be. So
The pressure
as we
for
say
those two.
this, yeah, as we say this, we're gonna be signing out. It's been a fun stream. We had a nice 5 maps, and we'll have a lot more Overwatch to play tomorrow. See you then.
Yep. See ya.